Welcome back to Morgan's video blog, Morgan's online blog in video format. Today, I'm here to talk to you about CoNZealand, the future of conventions, and the Hugos. So this vlog post has some context, some not so humble bragging, and responses to current events in the literary community. You have been warned. So, WorldCon, the annual celebration of science fiction and fantasy, or speculative fiction, SF, where all full members select and vote on the best works of the year, was supposed to be in New Zealand this year for the first time ever. This being 2020, CoNZealand was held virtually. Thanks to many of their staffers helping out with virtual Balticon, I wanted to return the favor. I offered to do a few moderation shifts on Discord and up to 4 hours a week of other work. Yeah, they were beautiful dreams. And then the training staff reached out, most of whom I had worked with at Balticon. I ended up having over 34 hours of check-ins and training sessions, not counting showing up early, not counting staying late to help debug issues or go over more information. I created a virtual tour because I knew from the past that all the different technologies don't necessarily fit together well, and they're confusing, and it can be really intimidating at first. I and one of the other staff members ran these welcome tours twice a day until the last day of the convention. And as I mentioned, I was on a couple panels myself, and I like to think they went well. While this new normal may be temporary, I don't think we're going back to the old way of doing things. I've talked to staffers on various conventions about the tech, about the challenges, and I have a few predictions. While hosting a fully in-person and virtual convention simultaneously may be beyond the staffing and budget of most conventions, I expect there to be a lot of overlap. Depending on the convention size, I expect at least one room for virtual panels, maybe a full track, what have you. I expect a chat application that people are on, maybe upvoting questions for the panel they're in. I expect at first the in-person attendance to be light, although parties might be epic just because we've been cooped up so long. I expect mask fashion to be the newest huge geek trend. I expect lots of hand sanitization and hand washing, and if we're lucky, more people paying attention to their health, and with the option of doing the virtual so they're not totally missing out, less sharing of germs and con crud, i.e. the standard cold or worse many con goers get when it at or after attending in-person conventions. But for now, everything is virtual. My plan for last week was to teach beforehand and then attend panels. But when the Zoom host schedule came out, it was so full of holes, I couldn't not step up. I trained 14 new Zoom hosts during the first 3 days of the convention itself. And then I and the rest of the team did our best to support them as they went out into the field. Between supporting them, monitoring Discord, looking for people having trouble getting to panels, and hosting my own Zoom rooms, I was basically on duty for 10 hours a day from Tuesday through Saturday of last week. That being said, I did make it to 2 events. I made it to a workshop I'd signed up for before the Zoom host schedule, such as it were, came out. And I managed to watch the first 2 hours of the Hugos. The Hugo Awards are the biggest name in science fiction and fantasy. And there's a lot being said about the 2020 Hugos and its Toastmaster, who'd been tasked with providing Hugo context to a lot of newcomers. He also gave a great heaping scoop of the fandom that had been and whose shoulders we sit upon of the old guard. I mourn the stories that were never shared because the writer wasn't given the support, the market, the time away from paying bills or caring for family. The ones shut out because the market said they just didn't connect with a story that was simply outside of their experiences. I listened to our Toastmaster stories and watched his hats change. I watched as the internet boiled in just rage that he couldn't take 5 minutes to Google a name pronunciation. I know where that rage comes from, but for me, I think of the dad in Pleasantville. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but his complacency is with a world that's made for him. Yes, he works hard, but he follows the rules and everything works as it should. And then other people's happiness, people who don't look like him, starts to matter. These didn't used to be the rules, but now the world has progressed beyond him, expanded beyond him. And during the Hugos, I watched the winners in all their diversity, in all of their talent, in all of their joy. Winners so far out from the old guard that they've probably got whiplash trying to watch them. Now, I like the idea of the SF community having its own awards. I like the idea of them being more accessible, not just pay to play. But right now, the Hugos are a big deal. And if we stop looking at who's handing out the awards and look who the community is giving these awards to, who is winning these awards, the SF community already has one foot in the future, and we don't look like we're turning back anytime soon. Thank you for watching. I'll be back again with more writing tips and writing musings. Bye-bye.